What's up and welcome in to this emergency pod, not even 24 hours later, of the Program Guys podcast. Mesa Prince, Ryan Tyson, Mark Hall, Matt Gann, Patrick Hertzberger with you again, 2 days in a row for the people. And we are here with this emergency podcast because, ladies and gentlemen, Peyton Bowen has just signed a 5-star safety, has signed with the 2023 OU class. He has flipped his commitment from Oregon, signed on the dotted line. He has sent the papers to the University of Oklahoma. The University of Oklahoma has tweeted out that he is part of the 2023 class. He is going to be an Oklahoma Sooner. Guys, we were down yesterday, but boys, we're back here today. How are we feeling?
Man, thank God for girlfriends, right?
Something like that.
No. It is Mark Carr, the head coach of the University of Oklahoma women's soccer team, is 2 steps ahead, guys.
That's right.
Always 2 steps ahead.
That's right. If you didn't know, Peyton Bowen's girlfriend plays soccer for the University of Oklahoma. I don't know her name right now. So
they tweeted it out and tagged her in it, and it's the most incredible thing.
Yeah, it's just a picture of her smiling.
Whoever is running that social
her
media
name's
account.
Emma Alvord.
Needs a
okay.
raise.
Yeah.
So to recap for the people who may not know how big this is, OU was in it with Peyton Bowen in the recruiting battle against Notre Dame, and seemingly only Notre Dame for a long time. He had been committed to Notre Dame for a long time. We get to signing day. He has the Notre Dame hat and the Oregon hat on the table, and OU hat nowhere to be found. He pump fakes the Notre Dame hat, puts the Oregon hat on, holds up the O, and he says he's committed to Oregon. Signs the paper on the table, doesn't send it in to Oregon, so nothing's official. I'm not sure.
My MVPs,
yes,
Brandon Hall and Jay Valai, get their asses to work. They're not on TV with Brent Venables because they're assigned a job and they understand it. They are hitting the phone lines, everything they can do to get Peyton Bowen to rethink this decision, which apparently he had already started to do on his own, right? They're not making him not send a letter out or out to Oregon, right? So they start hitting the phones. He doesn't send that NLI letter. We have got to change one of these 2 acronyms.
Yeah, seriously.
Right,
2 acronyms.
impossible.
I agree.
Doesn't send it all throughout the night. We hear nothing from him all day. I checked his Twitter account earlier, and it still had the Oregon Duck commit profile change. I thought maybe we're done, right? Yeah. And then the crystal balls come.
The crystal balls come out this morning, and all the guys who were getting dragged on Twitter yesterday by Sooner Nation are dancing today and feeling real good. And shout out to them, man. They made predictions, and in the end, they ended up being right. I don't know if it was because of what their predictions were as much as, like Mark said, Jay Valai and Brandon Hall, but those guys made the right prediction. So credit to them where it's due. Matt, how big is this flip for Brent Venables and this staff?
It's absolutely massive. I mean, we already have a really, really good class. And if you guys didn't listen to it, listen to the pod yesterday as we went really in depth on a lot of the guys that were already committed, wanted to play for the University of Oklahoma. And this is just an absolute massive flip. Now, this was one of the ones that was a little bit on the bubble, right? We didn't necessarily know what Peyton Bowen was going to do. I announced it live on the podcast last night that he did not send out the letter, so we were like, what the heck is going on? And it's been an absolute wild 24 hours. They might make a 30 for 30 on his journey, because obviously we don't know all the details of what happened after that signing day moment. Obviously, you know his mom's reaction. Obviously, things were not always clear, but this is an absolute massive flip. Mark called it. You know, those guys are still on the phone, making it work, and now you can see the work they put in actually matters, and this is massive, especially with the guys coming in with Makari Vickers, Billy Bowman already there. I mean, we are absolutely stacked in that deep, backfield. So really looking forward to getting them on campus and seeing what these guys can do for us.
Hold on, I want to read Peyton's statement real quick. Go ahead?
You want to read the whole last statement?
No, just like a
certain.
We're
not
huge.
doing that. I just wanted to say real fast. Matt said I called it. I do want to point out that I sent a crystal ball out there earlier.
You did.
It came to mind. Like I was hearing through the grapevine. So as an insider, I want to say sometimes we do get it wrong, but this time we were all pretty much right.
And you were only 69% sure, so you weren't.
Well, hey, 31 is not insignificant, but you'd much rather be 69 than 31. Right?
You're right. You're right.
So Peyton put out a statement on Twitter as he committed to OU, and
it's
I'm not going to
really
read the whole
long.
thing, but there's something that sticks out. He said, quote, "Soon after choosing Oregon yesterday morning, I came to the realization that the decision was not the best path for me. I immediately started to rethink my future." And then he goes on to talk about how he chose OU, reflecting, "It seems as if I was always looking for a reason to branch out and break away from home, but my relationships with Coach Venables, Coach Bates, Coach Fly, Coach Hall, and Coach Chavis, along with my ties to friends and family locally, ultimately led me back to where I always belonged." So it has to be the home thing. Jackson Arnold, his girlfriend included, a lot of stuff that the experts were saying that would have led him to Oklahoma, according to Peyton, seemed to be what it did. And credit to this coaching staff, man. They thrive off of relationship building. And this is example point A, B, and C. The relationship that they built with Peyton Bowen over the past few months matters. And it's what mattered the most to him at the end of the day. And that's huge. That's a massive, massive get. Pat, what do you think?
I was happy yesterday with a top 10 class after the season we had and the year that we've had. And to have this flip happen too, and now we're top 5 is insane.
According to 247.
According to 247.
Yes, according to 247 composite. But yes, sorry, Patrick.
I couldn't be happier. I mean, our recruiting efforts have been really great all year, and shout out to those guys who just continued to stay persistent throughout this and got him to the best place for his career ultimately, which is the University of Oklahoma.
That's true. Mark, did you have something you wanted to say? We were talking off air that you wanted to make something. I don't know.
Are you talking about which thing?
I don't know. There was a couple, but OU, this is the first top 5 class that OU's had since a Bob Stoops era. They never had a top 5 class in the era of Lincoln Riley. This is a massive get for Brent Venables and his staff to jump from 10 all the way up to number 5 in any recruiting rankings this late in the game is amazing for them. And this is huge. It's another guy on the defensive side of the ball, 25 guys in the class. I think it's now 16 on the defensive side of the ball. I think that number's right. It's in the teens. The majority. It's the majority. But we know what this kid brings to the table. He's 6 foot. He's a big human being back there at safety. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch, man. I'm super excited.
Guys, if we go back even like a year ago, 2 years ago, and we say we got 3 5-stars in this class, can you guys imagine that 2 of them are defensive? Like, love that.
Not a chance.
That's amazing. Super, super excited.
I want to talk about how all of us and all of Sooner Nation today were glued to Twitter. I didn't get anything done today.
I am a crazy person. I'm actually like an insane human being. I was like refreshing Twitter, looking for any kind of breadcrumb.
There was about 5 different times today that I was ready for the announcement to come, whether it was Brent Venables' tweet. I think that's what you want to talk about.
He tweets an LLI letter. And earlier in the day, we landed transfer safety Reggie Pearson, who's probably a little concerned. But
did you hold on one second? Did you see his highlight read? We'll talk about that later. Keep going.
But transfers don't sign NLI letters. So at 11:19 today, Brent Venables knew what he had in the bag, and here we are 4 hours later, just now reacting to it. So,
you have the Jackson Arnold tweeting a GIF and OU football retweeting it. So that was 2 hours ago. So they knew Jay Valai.
Double doing his face. If someone knows who that is, throw it in the comments.
Comment down below. Also subscribe to the video, subscribe to the channel. Sorry, not subscribe to the video. Subscribe to the channel if you can. Guys, this is just a massive, massive get for this recruiting class. And to think, I want OU fans to understand what this is. This team went 6-6 this year. If there was any excuse for this coaching staff and this class to take a step back, they did it at all. There's no excuses. They're full on, full head of steam, no matter what the circumstance is. It's amazing to see. There's no excuses whatsoever, and they knocked it out of the park. They really, really did. Lose out on Tassili Akana. I get it. That's fine. There was rumors that Texas talked to him about play time. I don't really want to get into that, but you come back and you fight hard for Peyton Bowen, a guy you believe in, and you get the job done. That's what SEC schools do. That is what SEC recruiting coaching staffs do. They win these type of battles. And that's massive. Matt, I think you wanted to say something.
No, last night we were almost hopping off the train just because of all the drama. Obviously the signing day, all of that. And this coaching staff just continues to impress me with what they've done. Like you said, Mason, with the season, with everything that's happened. And again, seeing all these guys truly commit to what this coaching staff is preaching, man, I would love to be on some of these conversations and love to hear what Todd Bates and Miguel Chavis and BV are preaching to these guys, because obviously what they're saying to these guys is working. And Oklahoma, again, is not going to be, hey, we're not going to break the bank and come out with all these NIL deals for these guys. So for Peyton Bowen to believe in the culture and the direction that OU is heading, I think absolutely the biggest get that we can get, and just proves that the coaching staff that we brought in was the right one.
Brent Venables and this staff can sell a catch a popsicle to a woman wearing white gloves. I'm telling you right now, man. They know how to do this. Anybody else anything to add on this?
Along with winning the battle and how huge it is, Notre Dame was still in the race too. He was committed to Notre Dame.
They were. It came out this morning that Notre Dame. There was a report from someone, and I wish I could credit them. We've sent so many tweets to each other today. I'd have to really scroll back and find it. But it
was a Tattoo Baker tweet saying that Tom Loy, who is a college football reporter, reported. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Saying that Tom Loy reported that Notre Dame had bowed out, that they were no longer pursuing Peyton Bowen. That's the way he phrased it.
Yeah. So, just war of attrition. They wanted it more.
Yep.
That's really what it is they wanted it more. It's a relentless pursuit of improvement, and they don't stop. They never ever stop. We have like 18 defensive backs on this recruiting class, and Peyton Bowen's like, yeah, I'm gonna come too. It's not icing on the cake, because he is way more than that as an ad. He's immediately the number 2 guy in the class after Jackson Arnold, according to On3's consensus rankings. Immediately. And but we were all pretty stoked yesterday too.
I know.
It's that good right now.
Right. I know. It's good to be us. Who's got it better than us? Probably Alabama, but that's okay. Sorry. But it's all right. Ryan, anything before we get out of here?
No, I mean, I think I'm still, there's been some rumors swirling around on is this going to affect Hicks' situation at all on Friday. Mark is making little hand signals.
We'll find out.
So I'm assuming he wanted to talk about this too. So I was just curious from you guys, do you think this impacts that at all? Because there was a lot out there that was since Bowen was going to Oregon, that might get Hicks to Oregon. And so since Bowen has now come to us, and we've had a connection with Hicks for a very long time. I mean, I'm not expecting anything. I'm already just so thrilled with the class that we have. But do you guys think that's still a possibility, or do you think we're just completely out of that race?
I refuse to count this staff out of any race anymore, ever. I just won't do it. I think they have as good a chance of it as anybody else. I really do.
Especially now.
Yeah.
Especially now.
And what this to me shows is all this staff needs is time. Mm-hmm. And if Hicks can give them a little bit of time, they can sell themselves better than anybody. And I think that's all they need. If Hicks decides on Friday like he's scheduled to, I'd feel less good about it. But if he delayed it at all, That's a lot of time that I guarantee you other teams don't want Brent Venables and this staff to have talking to him. I know that much.
So something that's kind of known, but I don't think we've touched on it too much, is that part of the David Hicks recruitment and commitment to A&M is his best friend, Damian Sanford. I think I have that name right. If I have it wrong, please correct me, or if someone knows, who's a linebacker from the same high school that he's at and is committed to A&M. We've offered that guy too. So if we get one flip, we might get two flips. And I think what Ryan pointed out about, Peyton Bowen possibly going to Oregon might mean Hicks goes to Oregon. Unless money is the thing. We know that David Hicks has had a long-standing great relationship with Todd Bates, Brent Venables, everyone on that coaching staff. Unless money is the thing. I am not in the head of an 18-year-old, but it seems like Oklahoma is a better destination.
Yeah, I think, I know there's a connection just like with home and how close A&M is and like his dad, and there's a lot of things going there. So I don't obviously know the full picture, but hey, if somehow this could get him to Oregon, like super far away from home, maybe he'll just come to Oklahoma, which is closer to home than that, but not as close as A&M.
And make us we would be like a top 3 class if he did.
Yeah, we would.
Probably.
We would, Matt.
I'm just excited, man. This is huge. I can't wait.
It's massive. Let us know down below in the comments how excited you are for the Peyton Bowen signing and for the 2023 class as it stands right now. Still time to add more. That's all I'm saying. That's going to do it for this EPC. Thank you so much for joining us. Very exciting. Follow us on Twitter at Program Guys with a Z, Instagram Program Guys with a Z, our Facebook page Program Guys Podcast. However you get your podcast, that's where you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that stuff. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, folks. Trying to hit 1,500 subs by the end of the year would be massive. Help us out. It's free to do. All you got to do is click that subscribe button right down there. Thank you to our producer Trevor for helping us out in this EPC, making us some graphics real quick. Really appreciate it. Folks, have a great rest of your day. Merry Christmas and happy holidays once again. Appreciate it. Pat, take us out.
Keep pushing it, baby.